If you want to support Slopes Game Room, then please click the links that you see in the top comments.
I wanna take you for a ride.
Welcome to Kick Scammers, the show where we look at the absolute worst Kickstarters, the most disgraceful Indiegogos, and the most diabolical GoFundMes to ever exist. Yep, if a scam is happening on any of these websites, you can be damn sure that I, DJ Slope, will come a-knocking. And today, we are getting Donald Trump involved, but not in the way that you would expect. Now, I could go to Kickstarter and Indiegogo to cover any of the ridiculous amounts of campaigns that have found their way onto the platforms, but instead, I want to go back further than his presidency to the year 2013, back when Kickstarter was going from strength to strength. It was the year that the company first released a mobile phone application version of the website, and it was also the year that Canada, Australia, and New Zealand released their first projects on the website. But most important for this video, 2013 was the year a competitor entered the ring. That competitor was a little website called Fund Anything, and who was behind it? None other than Donald Trump. Now, just to be clear here, guys, this is not a political video. If it was, then I would go ahead and cover the other crowdfunding campaign that had his face all over it. Not to give away the ending, but Fund Anything isn't really a scam either. It was an interesting project from a very interesting individual that the majority of the world seems to have completely forgotten about. So, leave your political opinions at the door. They're not welcome here, guys. And instead, let's all unite and take a ganders at Trump's forgotten crowdfunder. Welcome to Slopes Game Room. FundAnything.com. So what makes this so special then? Well, it was founded by one Bill Zanker in 2013 and was heavily endorsed and partly funded by none other than Donald Trump, the eventual president of the United States. Now, of course, Donald Trump was still a popular name back before his days of running for presidency of the United States, but just to make that point clear, once again, this site was a thing before his presidency, where he definitely became one of the most, if not the most controversial president in recent history. What I'm trying to say is, love him or hate him, he definitely didn't have quite as many detractors when this website was a thing. Anyway, FundAnything.com can for the most part be looked at as a sort of love child of both Indiegogo and GoFundMe. Indiegogo, because of the terrible, in my opinion, flexibly funded way of doing things. Unlike Kickstarter's reach your full goal within the time frame or you get nothing, Fund Anything didn't care if you hit your target. If you did, the campaign owner needs to pay 5% fees to the website as opposed to 9% if it doesn't hit its goal. Stupid, right? You miss your goal and now you need to pay more but still deliver a product? And it's similar to GoFundMe because, as the name suggests, you can fund anything, meaning that the website had a lot of I need money for medical bill campaigns going for it, a commonplace on places like GoFundMe, but of course not allowed on places like Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man with the Midas touch, the man with the heart of gold, the man that's going to make a difference to all our lives. Let's give him a big, big welcome. Trump! Trump!
Yep, that's the OJs for the love of money. Only Trump, right? Anyway, as stated, the website was sort of a joint venture between Bill Zanker and Donald Trump, who had previously worked together on the co-authored New York Times best-selling book Think Big and Kick Ass in Business and Life. And obviously, with that Trump connection, the plan was to have Trump not only invest into the crowdfunding platform, but to also promote it in a way that only Trump knows how. That being money and women. Trump, in a now unavailable tweet for obvious reasons, decided to promote the campaign the old-fashioned way by quite literally throwing money at people to get the name out.
I'm giving away money. I am giving away money. 11 a.m., Trump Tower, be there or be left behind.
And that's exactly what he did. At Trump Tower, to promote the event, he gave out 3 suitcases of money to 3 different ladies, which we will cover individually in just a bit. And then once that was all over, he stood in front of a crowd of people and they all began to shout out reasons as to why they needed the free money.
Do you need money? What's your problem?
Answers ranged from "my mother is sick with cancer" to "I'm behind on rent." He then wrote out 10 checks on the spot, from what I can tell to the value of $5,000, and gave them out to whoever he felt needed them the most.
Give it to your mother. Don't spend it all in one place.
Whoever was left had one final opportunity to grab hold of Trump's money, as they were invited back to the main lobby, where he had a fish tank full of scrunched up dollar bills ranging from $1 to $100, surrounded by attractive young girls not far off resembling Hooter waitresses in tight FundAnything.com t-shirts, while security got everybody in a line where they took turns scooping out as much cash as possible to take home, no strings attached. Not a lot of footage exists of this, but quite a few articles do, where you see children running past with massive wads of cash being looked after by Trump security before the Trump girls end up scooping the money for the lucky people themselves, all whilst Trump fans are screaming his name from the balcony above. A completely surreal event that, like I said, love him or hate him, is completely out of left field but still very typical of Trump. Anyway, those suitcases. At the event, whilst Trump gave out his speech, he played 3 campaign videos from the Fund Anything website. One of those campaigns was for a gentleman who was asking for $10,000 to help him get a lung transplant. His wife took one of those suitcases full of what is apparently $40,000. Jeff Delafranco ran a small educational business that was devastated by Hurricane Sandy. She got a $15,000 suitcase. And Celeste Buckingham was the 3rd and final suitcase grabber, walking away with $25,000 to start her musical career.
So we're going to be doing these again over the months. We'll do them at Trump Tower. We're going to be doing these again. We have a few more people that we've just taken from the audience. So we've given away over $150,000. We're going to be doing this again.
But unfortunately, those events never happened again. You see, not only was Donald Trump going to be promoting this thing like this, like no one else, but he was also going to be choosing random projects and then, in true Donald Trump fashion, tweeting about them. He was planning on doing this about once a week, but in total he only ever tweeted about the website 27 times, even though the website was indeed getting a few fairly impressive campaigns. The biggest, without a doubt, was Penn Jillette and Adam Carolla for their films Director's Cut and Road Hard, who both had ties to Trump through The Apprentice, and in Carolla's case at least, it was reported that a much smaller fee was put in place, as those projects obviously worked out as promotional efforts. Why would someone choose this platform over, say, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or GoFundMe? Well, it definitely wasn't the fees. In fact, according to reports, the fees were actually higher than the competition for the time. The real reason, which should really be obvious by this point, was Trump himself. The website was looked at by the hardcore fans as a sort of charitable Trump organisation in some aspects, and hey, if Trump liked and tweeted about your campaign, then of course it was going to be a win-win situation for you. But like I said, only 27 tweets, which obviously we can't look at anymore, and those tweets were for the most part just bog standard adverts for the Find Anything website rather than specific campaigns. Unfortunately, besides its rather ridiculous launch, it obviously wasn't that important to Trump. He put in around about $92,000 in total to campaigns, which could be seen in his own personal page that showed off what he had supported, ranging from $2,000 to $40,000 each, which obviously sounds like a lot, but in reality was about half of what he put into the ridiculous godlike spectacle that he put on over at Trump Tower. In short, he obviously just wasn't a fan of crowdfunding like this on these types of websites in general. Towards the end of the following year, 2014, with virtually no work being done by Trump for the longest time by this point, he decided to officially distance himself from the project, stating that it just took way too much of his time. The Donald Pick section of the website changed to the staff picks, and as you may have guessed, the site slowly dwindled down, becoming non-existent, as it had just lost its only real hardcore selling feature, Donald Trump. Looking back, it's an interesting little history piece from crowdfunding as a whole. No real scam from what I can tell. I mean, I really did look hard at news articles from the time and only really found a couple of crappy products like the Blue Bulb and a failed Michael Jackson documentary created by his mother, Catherine, and it does look like she at least started to refund those backers. Nothing major was an outright scam, or at least it wasn't publicly addressed. Fund Anything is more of an eye-opening experience into the man that would eventually become the President of the United States, jumping onto the crowdfunding bandwagon that, at least for the time, was at the height of its popularity, even though he obviously didn't really have any interest in doing so. Well, all besides that lavish launch party at least.
Donald is known as the man with the golden touch. So Donald said, okay, what are we going to do now? And I said, Donald, you can do anything. And he said, I want to do something to help people in these tough times. So we created a website called Fund Anything. You tell your story and you explain why you need money. Whatever it is, now you can go to Fund Anything and get help. It's going to start right now with Donald.
Would you look at this? Slopes Password Zone. Put your password in here and you will get to see a plethora of unedited, exclusive and videos filled to the brim with, well, no adverts or sponsorships whatsoever. It's all here in the supporters.slopesgameroom.com website. All you need to do is become a Patreon or YouTube member at whatever level you wish. Thank you to everybody that watched this particular video right here and got to see all of the exclusive videos and stuff early. Yeah, massive thanks to all of you people, all of the names that you're seeing at the bottom of the screen, with an extra big shout out going to Jeremy Bauer, The Sneaky Ferret, King of Carrot Flower, Chris Walker, Ray Blair, Vitas Varnes, Aggro Crag, James, Digsy B, Michael Ridley Dash, The Action Saxon, Christopher DeVero, Roll VP, Jay is Manchild, Daniel Tarares, Clan Bob, Mike Fallon, Nicholas Burtner, Taylor Rainwater, Chev Matic, Jabba Al Aiden, Benjamin Guy, Man Shovel, Chris the Shapeshifter, Aaron Gorman, Big Rico, Richard Alderjic, Shannon Dragon, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, Game Apologist, Dina, Lucas Softail, Intrigued Gaming, Yield Hamburglar, Jeff Mianowski, Solix Captor, Rovan Army, Jeremy Rodriguez, Tim Lunn, Nick Pollard, Bran Perez, Gary Pinkett, Conrad Constantine, Andrew Dalton, Retro to Next Gen, aka Lou, King Link Reviews, Todd Bullfloat G, Sir Nilsson, Shade Silence, Over Giles Zane, That Gamer, Akatimo84, Matt Jackson, Josh Gibbons, Ian Quell, Arista, Dina81, Mind of the Unsane, Vike Echo, Stephen, and The Cunning Linguist. I did not put those in alphabetical order this time and it threw me off. Thank you to everybody there that I just said that's supporting this show every single month and allowing me to create these videos as often as I do. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate your support, and also massive shout out to Stu the Brummy. There will be a link down below for providing the Trump impersonations, which is something that I definitely couldn't do without embarrassing myself. So thank you very much. I hope you like this video, guys. Like I say, no major scam in this one or anything like that. It's just an interesting history piece when talking about crowdfunding. I find this sort of stuff very interesting. But don't worry, I've got some ridiculous scams coming up for future Kick Scammer episodes, and I am also working on an enormous complete history as well, so keep an eye out for those. But until next time, guys, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.